Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Techi Sugan. In this video, we are going to see with previous year Code Vita question. This question is all about generation of Christmas tree. Now let us read this question in detail. Chirag is a little boy and his one and only dream is to meet Santa Claus. He desired to decorate a Christmas tree for Santa on coming Christmas. Chirag made an interesting Christmas tree that grows day by day. So far what they are given, there is a little boy named Chirag and his dream is to meet Santa Claus. So what is doing? He is trying to decorate a Christmas tree for Santa. How the tree is going to be? The tree is going to grow day by day. At the day 1 of the decoration, it will be of certain appearance. At the day 2, it is going to grow. This was the interesting information they are given so far. The Christmas tree is comprised of following parts, stand. So whenever we people are saying Christmas tree, it consists of two elements, that is nothing but parts and stand. Each part is further comprised of branches. Branches are comprised of leaves. So they told that whenever we people are speaking about Christmas tree, it contains two elements. One is part and stand, and this part comprised of branches and the branches comprised of leaves. These are the information they are given so far. Now let us move further and read the question. How the tree appears on the function day should be understood. Basis that prints the tree as it appears on a given day. So what they are given is, we people are supposed to understand how the tree appears on each and every day, and we people are supposed to print the structure of a tree on the given day. Below are the rules that governs how the tree appears on a given day. Write a program to generate such a Christmas tree whose input is number of days. So till this what they are given, from the user we people are supposed to accept number of days. Based on the input given by the user, we people are supposed to display tree structure. Since the tree is going to grow day by day, right? Before displaying a tree, now let us understand what is the rules for generation of a tree. If the tree is 1 day old, you cannot grow. Print the message, you cannot grow Christmas tree, which is nothing but from the user we are going to accept only one input, that is nothing but number of days. If at all the given day is 1 or less than 1, I am supposed to display you cannot grow Christmas tree as your output. The tree will die after 20 days. What they are given is, if at all the given value number of days is greater than 20, you should display there is no more tree. So what is the constraint they are coming to tell here is, the number of days should be greater than 1 and less than or equal to 20. So these are the two conditions they are given. Now let us move further. The tree will have one part less than number of days. On the second day, tree will have one part and one stand. If at all the number of days is 2, what they are mentioning is tree will have one part and one stand. If the number of days given by the user is 3, the tree will have 2 part and one stand. If the number of days is 4, the tree will have 3 part and one stand. Which is nothing but they are coming to tell here is, the tree will have one part less than number of days. This is number of days which you are going to accept from the user. If at all this is your input, your number of parts is going to be 1 less than the given input. This is your third rule they are given. The topmost will be widest and bottommost will be the narrowest. So how the tree is going to be there? Normally we will have bottom will be the wider and topmost will be narrow, right? But this tree will be topmost will be wider and bottommost is going to be a narrow part. And fifth rule what they are given is, difference in the number of branches between topmost and second from the topmost will be 2. Here when you are speaking about branches, they are told that tree normally has two elements, one is part and other is stand. Whenever we people are speaking about parts, it will have branches, and this branches varies for the topmost part and the next part. So better I'll explain these two statements by using example. It will make you more clear. I will move on to the input statement. The first line of input contain number of days denoted by n. So based on your n value, we people are supposed to generate a Christmas tree. Let us understand this with an example. If at all your number of days is 5, this could be your appearance of Christmas tree. Whenever we people are speaking about Christmas tree contains two elements, one is part and other is stand. Here let us understand what is part in the given picture. This particular picture consists of 4 parts, that is nothing but the first part is green color, part 2, part 3, part 4 and last it contains a stand. This is how your Christmas tree appear. Here one more thing they have mentioned, that is nothing but this part consists of branches. So what is branches here? Each and every row. This is known as branches. Clear? And this branches contain leaf. What is leaf here? Each and every star what you are going to print, that is nothing but leaf. I think so you people are clear with the question now. Whenever we people are speaking about Christmas tree, it contains parts and stand. Now let us compare this picture along with the rules what they are given. Two rule we people are clear with it. Your number of days should be greater than 1, less than or equal to 20. These are the first two rules they are given. Now let us move on to the third rule what they are given. The tree will have one part less than number of days. What they are given? If at all your number of days is 2, how many parts the tree is going to have? 1 part. If the number of days is 3, the tree is going to have 2 parts. If it is 4, the number of parts is going to be 3. Here what is the number of days? 5. So how many parts we are having? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are having number of parts 1 less than your given day. This is your third condition. And what is your fourth rule they are given? Topmost part will be the widest and the bottommost part will be narrowest. Where your topmost part is broader and coming down your branches are being narrow. This is your fourth statement. And what is your fifth rule? The difference in number of branches between topmost and second from the top will be 2, which is nothing but here find the number of branches here. How many branches is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At your part 1 how many branches is there? 6 branches is there. And for your part 2 how many branches is there? We are having 4 branches. So what is the difference between part 1 and part 2? Is 2. This is what they are given. Difference between the topmost, your part 1 and your part 2 will be 2. It is for any tree generation, not only the given day 5. For any given day, your topmost part and the bottommost part next to your topmost part will have difference of 2 branches. The difference in number of branches between second from top and bottommost part will be 1. This is nothing but second from top is this is just part 2 they are mentioning here. Part 2 and rest of the element which is following your part 2 will have difference of 1. You can notice your part 2 is having 4 branches. And how many branches your part 3 is having? 3 branches. Again 2 branches. It is decreasing by 1 by 1. Here there is difference between part 1 and part 2 is 2. And difference between part 2, part 3, part 4. For each and every part we are having 1 difference. Is that clear? I think so we are clear with the question. Now we can move to the coding part. We people are supposed to accept days from the user. So let me accept a days. Day assign. The day what you are going to assign is of integer type. So let me typecast it here. And after this what I am going to do is I am going to generate a Christmas tree. For generation of a Christmas tree, let me write a function called xmas and let me pass a days as a parameter of this function. Now let me have this function definition part here. Def followed by xmas and let me have a parameter value. Now let us go ahead with the implementation part. So what is the actual question they are given? They are given certain rule, right? For first true rule what they mentioned, if at all your number of days value is less than or equal to 1, I am supposed to print you cannot generate Christmas tree. Or when it is greater than 20, I am supposed to display tree is no more. This is a message I am supposed to print. So let me write a condition here. If your day If your day is less than or equal to 1, what I'm supposed to print? I'm supposed to print some message, right? What is the message they given? You cannot generate Christmas tree, right? And after this, I don't want any more execution. I'm supposed to stop it. So let me give return. Clear? Else, or I can put elif. If my day is greater than 20. After 20, there will be no more tree will be there. So let me print tree is no more. This is a basic condition they are given, where your constraint is day value should be greater than 1 and less than or equal to 20. Clear? So I have given this filter condition. And now I am supposed to go ahead with the other condition. What is the other condition? I am supposed to draw the tree based on the given value. We have taken one input value, right? I have mentioned some calculation part. I will let you know what is that. Here I have drawn this particular tree for number of days 5. First let us see how to draw this part 1 alone. Then we can go ahead with the generation of part 2 and the remaining part. Whatever the tree it is, first we are supposed to write the logic for generation of part 1 separately, and for the remaining part we are going to write logic separately. Let us see with the part 1. If at all you want to draw the part 1, what is required? Number of branches is required and number of leaves is required. So you can notice that how many branches are there in your part 1 if at all your number of days is 5. I told you that this is one branch and this is your other branch. So how many branches your part 1 is having for number of days 5? You are having 6 branches. So what is 6 here? Your number of days plus 1 is 6. So let me write my branches here. It is better to keep it aside. For you people better understanding, I will keep it aside. So how many branches are here? So let me declare branches. And how many branches for the part 1? Your number of days plus 1 will be your branches. So let me mention day plus 1 will be the branches for your part 1. And next, what is the number of leaf count here? You can able to find out here. The number of leaf for the part 1 topmost is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. So these are the maximum leaf. Maximum leaf is 11. How this 11 is formed? For this it is 11 and for part 2 it is getting reduced as 9 and next it is 7 and next it is 5. How it can be calculated? Your maximum leaf can be calculated based on your days. What is your day? Your day is 5, right? 5 into 2 plus 1. That is your maximum leaf. Let me declare max leaf. Max leaf count is nothing but 11. How we calculated this one? That is nothing but number of days into 2 plus 1. I can mention days into 2 plus 1. That is nothing but maximum leaf count for your part 1. After this, what we are supposed to consider? We people are supposed to consider how to draw this part 1. What is this part 1? It is nothing but a triangle. So when you are drawing this triangle, we people are concerned about number of rows and number of column. How many rows are there? You can able to notice that 6 rows are there. This triangle has 6 rows, right? And this 6 rows is nothing but 6 branches. So let me write number of rows for I in range, and this range count is 1 to number of branches, right? So number of branches, let me write my range count here. If I mention branches, it will go only till branch minus 1. So I am supposed to write here as branch plus 1 as my rows. Is that clear? So how many rows I am having? Starting from 1 to 6 rows. So I have mentioned 1 to branches plus 1. Now I am supposed to consider 2 separate elements. One is how many spaces should be left for each and every row printing and how many stars to be printed. First let me consider about the spaces. So for first row, how many spaces is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How this 5 can be calculated, which is nothing but maximum leaf by 2 gives you the calculation. So maximum leaf is 11. 11 by 2 gives you 5. So that is nothing but number of spaces count. So let me give number of spaces count for j in range, and here let me mention 1. And what is the maximum limit? I have told you that max leaves by 2, which is nothing but max leaf divided by 2 gives you the exact count plus 1. Is that clear? This plus 1 always reminds that your for loop ends n minus 1 iteration. So that is the reason I am giving plus 1 here. I hope so you people are clear with your J loop. This J loop is specifically for spaces. How many spaces is there? Maximum leaf by 2 count spaces are there. That's what I left here. And after this I am supposed to leave spaces. So let me mention print. And here I am supposed to leave spaces, right? So let me leave spaces. And this line should end with space. By default else it will go to the new line. So let me give ends with space. Right now I are given condition to leave the spaces. After this let me write one more for loop to print the leaf. So let me write one more for loop. In the first row how many leaf is there? 1 leaf is there. In second row 3 leaf is there. 3 leaf is there. In third row 5 leaf is there. So let me write separate loop for it for j in range starting from 1 till leaves plus 1 is your termination condition. Leaves plus 1. So let me have the initial count of my leaf as 1. So let me have my initial count of my leaves will be 1. So the first leaf will be executed leaves plus 1 time. So for each and every time what I am supposed to do, I am supposed to print star as my output. That is nothing but leaves. Star as my output and followed by ends with space. And after printing a complete row, I need a line break. So let me give print followed by ends with new line. Okay. The initial count of leaf is 1. For the next row, what is the count of leaf? It is 3. So 1 plus 2 gives you 3, 3 plus 2 gives you 5, 5 plus 2 gives you 7, 7 plus 2 gives you 9, 9 plus 2 gives you 11. So for each and every iteration, what is your leaf count? It is incrementing by 2. Is that clear so far? Now let me execute this for you people. So far what we did, we have drawn this part 1 alone. Now let us execute this program. Let me run this one. And let us assume number of days given is 5. We are getting output, but the output is right angle triangle. But how our part is here? It is not right angle triangle, it is a triangle, right? So what is missing here? The spaces what we are given is not correct. Whatever the spaces is given, it is of equal spaces, right? We are supposed to consider with spaces. So now let us check with the spaces here. So I have given 1, 2, leaves by 2 as a equal spaces for all your rows. It should not be equal spaces. It should be reduced for each and every iteration, right? So what I am going to do is I am going to start with I2 max leaf by 2. Whenever your I value is 1, 1 to max leaf by 2, 5 spaces. And whenever your I value is 2, 2 to 5 spaces. 3 to 5 spaces. 4 to 5 spaces. 5 to 5 spaces. 6 to, it is not possible, right? So no spaces. Is that clear? Now let me execute this one. Let me give same value as 5. Now your part 1 has been done. I hope so everyone is clear till this. Now we can go ahead with the rest of your parts creation. Till this we are completed. We'll move on to the rest of the parts. For rest of the part, again we people are supposed to consider with the branches. In question what they are given, the branches difference for your first part and second part is varying. For a first part and second part, how many number of branches will be varying? 2 branches, right? If your first part has 6 branches, your second part will have only 4 branches. So difference between your first part and second part is 2 branches less than your first part. So let us write logic for your remaining part. For branches, first let us write branches. And what is the branches different? It is varying 2 for part 1 and part 2, right? For part 1 it is 6 and for part 2 it is 4. There is 2 variation in branches. So let me decrement my branches value by 2. And after this, what we people are supposed to concern about the leaf. For the first part, the leaf is starting with 1. For the second part, it is starting with 3. So what is your leaf starting count? Your leaf starting count is going to be 3. So let me mention my leaf starting count is 3. And right now I am supposed to consider about my part 2. So in part 2, what are the thing I am supposed to concern? I am supposed to concern about the spaces and number of rows. Here your number of rows is 4. That depends upon your branches. I have did it. And spaces. How many spaces is there? 4 spaces is there. And then I am supposed to draw this triangle. So let me make use of the same condition what I did for part 1. So let me copy paste here. In this logic, I am going to make only small changes. That is nothing but instead of printing from leaf 1, I am going to start with 3 leaf, right? So only one changes I am going to do. Here I am going to start my I value from 2. So if at all you are giving 2, what happens here? This particular 3 star will start print here. If I am starting with 1, what happens? It will start printing at this location. In order to avoid it, I am starting with 2. And how many number of branches should be here? Actually 4 branches. So if at all you are starting with 2, I am supposed to give branches plus 1 as my number of rows. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will have 4 branches. Now this condition is fine and the remaining part is same for your part 2. Now let me execute this program. We have did part 1 and part 2, right? So let me execute this and give value 5. You can notice that your part 1 is drawn and your part 2 is drawn. Now the rest of your work is you are supposed to draw the remaining parts. For remaining part, is there is any similarity between your part 2 and part 3? Yes. This is also starting with 3 leaf and this is also starting with 3 leaf. The only variation is number of branches varies, right? Your branches is getting decremented by 1 for your next part. So do one thing. Write this logic inside one more loop. What I am going to do is I am going to mention one more loop here. That is nothing but for rest of the parts, right? So let me write rest as my variable name in range. And how many days is there? Normally if n value is 5, how many parts will have? N minus 1 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4 parts will have. This was the condition they are given. If at all n value is 5, I will have 4 parts. Among the 4 parts, your first part is done, right? Your first part is done. And how many part is there? Only 3 more part is there. Normally you will have n minus 1 part and already 1 part is done. So n minus 2 is when and the remaining part is 1 to day minus 2. Is that clear? Normally we will have n minus 1 and already I have written separate logic for your part 1. So 2 days is when. So let me have my condition as 1 to day minus 2. And rest of your logic, these logic has to be written inside this loop. So let me write this logic inside this loop. The only condition I am supposed to mention here is my branches count has to be reduced by 1 for each and every part, right? So let me reduce my branches count here. Fine. Now let us execute this program. We are going step by step, guys. Okay, fine. Now let me give 5. We can notice only 3 part is there. One more part is missing. We will see where it is missing. So where we have mentioned here, we have mentioned the particular part by using this rest of the days, right? We forgot here. it is executing day minus 2, but what happens? It will execute till n minus 1, right? So we are supposed to mention here one more condition as plus 1. It's up to you. Either you can mention day minus 2 or day minus 1. It's up to you. I have mentioned day minus 2. That is the reason I have mentioned plus 1 as my condition by default for a Python code. Now let me execute this and let me give 5. Fine. Here 4 part is printed for given value 5. Now the only one task is pending, that is nothing but to generate the stand for this Christmas tree. We'll write logic for your stand. So let me write a command line here. Stand. Here we people are going to write logic for your stand. So for I in range. The same thing we people are supposed to concern here. I am supposed to give spaces and then my stand should be generated. How many spaces should be there? 5 spaces. So let me write condition for range in 1, comma. Here I am supposed to mention how many stars are there in my stand. I am having 2 rows, right? So your rows count is by default whatever your number of days, it will have only 2 rows. So let me give my row count as 1 to 3. So that it will execute only from 1 to 2. For the remaining logic, we people are supposed to consider with spaces and printing of the star. So let me make use of the same what I did for part 1. The same 2 line I am going to make use of it here. I am going to consider starting from 1 to max leaf by 2 for my spaces. So I will have 5 spaces for each and every row and followed by I am going to print star. So print star for each and every row. Is it clear? Now your stand is ready. Now let me execute this code. If at all your value is 5, you can notice that your Christmas tree is drawn with the 4 parts and along with your stand. I hope so you people are clear with this program. It is very easy. The only thing is you people should understand the logic and wherever you people are supposed to leave spaces and branches count. Is that clear? If at all you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon. Thank you.